Donald Trump has dramatically escalated U.S. pressure on Nigeria, declaring that if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians on its territory, the United States will immediately cut off all aid and may very well go into that now disgraced country. Guns are blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible activities. Mr. Trump further instructed the U.S. Department of War to prepare for possible military action while redesignating Nigeria as a country of particular concern over alleged religious freedom violations. Meanwhile, Nigeria's government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has forcefully rejected the characterization of the violence as a targeted Christian genocide. Federal spokespeople stressed that the country is constitutionally committed to protecting citizens of all faiths, pointing out that attacks affect both Christians and Muslims, but the question is by whom? And are rooted in a complex blend of insurgency, communal conflict, and resource-based violence. Now, this is what we're discussing this morning on Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics, and I welcome you to the show officially. Joining me in the studio, I have with me Mr. Daniel Sacramento and Ifoma Oji. Good morning, how are we all doing?
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, good.
We're living.
Some people are saying on X, oh, my first war, I'm shy. I don't know how you're preparing because it seems to be a different atmosphere this morning.
I'm not in Nigeria, though.
Yes, like I said, I'm not Nigerian. Anyway.
No, I'm not in Nigeria.
Me, I'm not Nigerian. I said I'm not Nigerian. Anyway, we're going straight to the topic for today, the possible U.S. intervention in Nigeria as regards the Christian genocide, allegedly the Christian genocide going on. Because if you call it a Christian genocide, lots of people are going to have problem within Nigeria, but outside you call it the Christian genocide. But first, let's start with a video that Donald Trump made in an Air Force and the discussion that has led after that. But let's take a quick look at that particular video before we come back.
They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
All right. Now, that particular video is Donald Trump reiterating his stance on the guns are blazing, coming down to Nigeria to take matters into their hands, and the Nigerian government will continue to turn deaf ears to the many deaths of Christians. Now, according to Donald Trump, he's saying that the killings of Christians in northern Nigeria is more than it has happened in any other nation and any other country. Now, we're going to take another look at Randy Peters, that is Peter of Nigeria, making a commentary on what is going on. And when we're back, we'll take some comments before taking the opinion of us in the studio.
Master strategist President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Mr. President, master strategist APC people, time for strategy don't reach you. Now when I go really need strategy because the music where President Donald Trump they play for you, so you will need strategy to fix this problem. And this will not be strategy to convert all politicians or governors to APC or how to turn the country to one party state or turn National Assembly to APC town hall. No, it is strategy on how to protect the lives of Nigerians and guarantee security. Nigerians people no panic whether they say US get ulterior motive or whatever motive. Is it not a shame say for you to fix insecurity in your country you need another person to remind you? Now the blood of innocent Nigerians, as President Jonathan talk, the bloods that are sharing, now in the cry. So it's hit of this insecurity when it happened under President Jonathan. What was your message, President Tinubu? The slaughtering of Christians is not acceptable. So now why do you have problem with calling Christian genocide? Nobody will not talk, I'm even under President Jonathan. You politicize the issue of insecurity because people wanted the then President Jonathan to leave. All the time we the then President Ayo Risheja he go UN, he talk say Christians should defend themselves. Now even pastors been they talk. Why should he say so? Today Kanu and PFN, nobody they hear their voice again. No. Buhari come for 8 years. What did you people say under with the issues of insecurity? What happened with insecurity? An entire region, southern Kaduna, was almost wiped out of the map. What do you do about them? You said that there is no Christian genocide. Yes, Muslims are being killed, Christians are being killed. The important question first is who they kill people. What is causing the killing? When there was hit of say Fulani militia and herdsmen, they kill people and all that, what was President Buhari's response? They say, may they create Ruga, may they do this. And then you come up with such policies and you say that there should not be perceived Christian genocide in the country. Una they play Oriburuku Lenshe. The names of the people where they on top of the states where they look so. Now which people are in there on top of them? When people were killed and buried in a mass burial in Benue, the President Buhari there in government house, he no come out go there. He said tell IG or police to go, IG no go, but he no even remember. In 2016, Deaconess Eunice Olawale, a member of Redeemed Christian Church of God, was butchered in Cuba for doing morning evangelism. The vice president for that administration is a redeemed pastor, Pastor Yemi Oshibajo. What happened? Who was
that he posted on his official Instagram account talking about everything going on with Donald Trump coming out to make that very particular speech and statement on his account, and how the Nigerian government have reacted even after that. But before we take the opinion and the thoughts of those in the studio, let us take a look at exactly what you are saying, Nigerians are saying on X. Let's have a look.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to continue with the conversation, even as we try to get that displayed for all of us to see. Anyways, let's start with this comment by TT. This person says, funny how President Bola Tinubu once called out former President Jonathan for the exact same thing, and he quoted a particular tweet that Tinubu made years ago in 2014, saying the slaughtering of Christian worshippers is strongly condemnable. It calls to question the competence of Jonathan to protect Nigerians. Now we move over to what Kashami says. He says, let the geopolitics professionals and intellectuals in Nigeria keep worrying about the bigger picture and how America wants to take over Nigeria, while we worry about ensuring that another child in Yelewata does not get raped and killed by terrorists. We move over to Johnson Agariga, who says the Nigerian government is complicit to the genocide going on in Nigeria. Jihadist terrorists move around freely, and the government even offered them amnesty. Yemi says, I've prayed for times like this. America protecting persecuted Christians is something I lost hope in, but here we are. I love this administration. Now, we're going to take a look at the final comment. Temi Loluwa says, he should act fast, abeg. They're about to start stealing from my hard-earned money by January. This person is concerned about tax, but I'm going to take a particular tweet by Riley Murray, who says to the government of Nigeria, also tagging the president of Nigeria, saying, President Trump has provided forewarning. If you do not correct the current state of inaction to stop the killing of our brothers and sisters in Christ in your country, the days of the U.S. looking the other way are over. It will never happen on that the President Donald Trump watch. I urge you to cooperate with us in preventing the atrocity that worsens every day. We want your people to live in peace, all of them, especially Christians. The president has been clear. I would not test his resolve. Many have tried and all have failed. We will not allow the gates of hell to prevail against the faithful. Now, these are the thoughts of many Nigerians and even foreigners on this particular matter. Now, if you take a look at what Donald Trump came out to say, that particular statement, it's quite lengthy, and he came out to, in summary, say that he's going to unleash war on Nigeria, on the Nigerian government, if they do not do what they're supposed to do as per protecting its citizens. Now, first of all, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Daniel Sacramento. Let's talk about this from the very beginning, right? Now, even when Buhari came on board, promising to end insecurity in 6 months, 8 years later, the situation got worse. Now, it worsened. What do you think really went wrong? And I'm asking from the point of view on the complacency of the Nigerian government that a lot of people have been accusing them of.
It's been a very unfortunate incident because of the kind of leadership we've been having in this country. You know, this country is a place where we say this, we do the opposite of it. Nigerian religious leaders have caused a lot of issues in this country, fueled by dirty politicians, because you won't call everybody dirty. There are dirty politicians. There are people who unleashed this evil upon Nigerians, you know, because of power, because they want to be in power, because they believe it is their right to be in power. Now, I remember during Jonathan's regime, before he left, there was an imam in a mosque that was arrested because of incitement. What Donald Trump is trying to say is that enough should be enough. Enough in the sense that the Nigerian government should sit up. Enough in as much as he's talked about the Christians killing. But when you look at the Christians killing, it is the dirty Islams, not all, because there are still good people in Islam. There are still wonderful people that are there, that are in the Islam, that believe in what the Quran says. There is no time the Quran says we cannot coexist. We'll be living in peace in the 80s, in the 70s, till the regime of Buhari came. The Fulanis, the extremists, because he won't call the Islam the problem. It is the extremists who are in there under the guises of Islam are the people perpetrating this act, killing Christians, killing Muslims. It became a religious genocide, because that's what we should target. It's a religious genocide.
So you don't think it's a Christian genocide?
No, I didn't say.
Religious genocide?
No, I didn't say. Trump is a Christian. That's the truth. Now, he's trying to say it's a religious war. It's a religious genocide, because it's not a war. But the truth about it is that I remember there was a pastor from Equa Church whom we watched the video how he was slaughtered. The little grave was dug and he was put inside it. I was asked to denounce Jesus. He refused, and his head was chopped off.
So you're saying it's a religious genocide, but we have more number of Christians that are being killed, and there is also
that's the angle I'm going to. I'm trying to balance it. We are all in Nigeria. The truth about the whole thing is because of the failed system. The security system has failed. We have dirty people in rise. People went out to bring in extremists into the country, knowing fully well that we have porous security system.
Now you're saying the dirty system. Sorry to cut you short, sir. But you also said now that Donald Trump is a Christian. Which religion does the president of Nigeria practice?
President of Nigeria does not need to be one particular. When you're a president, hold on. He is an Islam. He's from. He's a Muslim. He's a Muslim. Now the wife is a Christian. So that's why. But normally, when you are a president, you are president of everybody. You are not the president of a particular section.
Because you kept talking about system. I'm saying.
Now I am coming into the system. No. This problem didn't start during Tinubu. It started even during Obasanjo. That's when this thing started. So the truth about it is that it is because when we're talking about our system, the system is corrupt leaders. There are politicians who went as far as bringing in terrorists to take over the government if Jonathan fails to leave.
Okay, sorry, Sam. I have to also take you from my thoughts as well on the matter, because we're also talking about past government. One thing this current administration would do is to point blame to the last administration. But when you look at Buhari, who was a former general, one would think that when he came into power, he would better understand the security terrain and the ropes and how to go about that. But we didn't see that influencing his government. Now, first of all, I want to take your thoughts, because there are lots of controversies. People are saying this is not a Christian genocide. Mr. Daniel Sacramento is saying it should rather be tagged a religious genocide. Where do you stand in all of that? And going forward, where do you think, or when do you think all of this started?
Okay, this actually, I believe, started from Goodluck Jonathan's tenure in 2011. There was a report that a certain police station was burnt, and they killed a lot of people there, and he treated it as, you know, a random unrest then. And he couldn't do anything about it till it spiraled into, you know, massive destruction and the rest of them. I'm talking about Boko Haram. For Boko Haram, we now splitted into ISWAP and the rest of them. We are now seeing a lot of attacks on Christians and the rest. So what I'm saying here is the fact that it's not just Christians that are being targeted or are being killed. There is a massive massacre of, you know, religious organizations or members of a particular religious
So you also think
group.
it's not a Christian genocide?
I think, see what I'm saying here, I think it's mostly targeted at the Christians. It's not like they are not killing other people. But let me equally say this. This whole thing of Christian genocide and Boko Haram and the rest of them, I wanted to bring to the fact that how did he even, like, who is funding them? Because they've been in this system for decades now. If you reason it, you'll be like, okay, the US is talking about summoning and the rest of them. How did these people get to acquire ammunitions in the first place? Because these people have high sophisticated, you know, machineries that even the military in Nigeria does not have access to. So who is funding them? That's what you're going to ask. Because if you want to curb or totally scrap anything about insecurity, you have to go to the root, you know, cause of the problem.
One of the top, you know, purchasers of arms in the sub-Saharan.
What I'm trying to tell you now is that those bandits, those people that are killing people in so many communities, have higher or upper hands. They work with these officials in the military. They work with. I wouldn't actually exactly. Some of them exactly. So if you want to talk about, you know, stopping or curbing insecurity in Nigeria, or maybe targeted at a particular religion or the rest of it, you have to go to the root top of the problem before
you curb anything. Support even from the US.
Exactly, something like that.
Okay, so that's where you're going to now. Now let's also talk about the controversy, Ifoma and Mr. Daniel Sacramento. The controversy surrounding US intent towards helping Nigeria, and a lot of people have come out to say they have two ideologies. People are saying that the US never does anything for free, that they have ulterior motives, they want to help in order to get something back. Another group of people are saying that it is high time that they come and intervene and all of that. We also heard what Randy Peter said and all of that, and I'm asking, what is your take on this controversy? Do you think that the US government has ulterior motives, or are they just here to simply help?
Okay.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. So, you know, Nigeria is blessed with a lot of resources. We have one of the most, like the biggest oil reserve and gas in Nigeria here. Let me not talk about, our lithium and the rest of them in the middle belt. So all these countries like China are targeting Nigeria. Most of them are already in Nigeria establishing businesses. Why are they loaning Nigeria for how many years now? It's because they are targeting something in Nigeria. And same with Russia too. And you know that the US is kind of in a cold war with China. So they are now saying, they're now coming up with this excuse of
so you think it's an excuse?
I think it's an excuse. I feel like they have an interest, because remember, Donald Trump will tell you, my citizens or America first before every other country. So somebody that will keep on telling you this every single time, don't you think that he has something underneath, even though we are seeing it like he is trying to help Nigeria curb insecurity or people that are fighting against this? He has an interior motive
of Donald Trump. Are you saying that what you said earlier is that they get sponsorship, that is the Islamic terrorists and jihadists, they get sponsorship from the United States. Are you also saying that somehow that the US is responsible for the Christian genocide going on in Nigeria? Where is the role of the Nigerian government in all of this?
I will not really say that the US is responsible for this thing. It's more like trying to accuse them of something they might be guilty or not guilty of, you understand? But I'm saying that there is a possibility that they have a role, because who supplies ammunition? Which country have the most ammunition? If we're talking about sovereign states with, sophisticated machineries, US will give it to US, we give it to China and other states, other sovereign states too.
So you're not
you
saying
understand?
that
So
there
there
is
is
a situation of them causing something and coming to offer a solution.
Exactly. There is, possibility that is
That's
possible.
a really interesting ideology. But Mr. Daniel Sacramento, let's look at the countries that the United States has helped in the past. Let's take a look at South Korea, Germany, Japan, Kuwait, Bosnia, Kosovo, Liberia. These are the countries that the US has helped and intervened, and they've had positive outcomes. Now, I believe that there are also situations where they intervened and they had negative or not positive outcomes after their intervention. Well, what if am I saying, and that same question, where is your stance on the United States intervention into the situation happening in Nigeria?
Okay. First, I want to correct an impression. In as much as United States does business, this particular aspect of the genocide, Christian genocide, is a serious issue that needs to be very, very extremely careful about it. Now, the truth about it is this. United States does not love to supply ammunition to Islamic states. What they do is that there are the Arabian world have their banks. So many people, so many countries in the Arabic world are involved, most especially Iran. The people who does a lot of supplies to them because they have ISWAP, ISIS, Boko Haram, and so many of them. Now, America has been placing a lot of sanctions to many of the Arab worlds. They're placing a lot of sanctions on them because they want to instill their mark, to make a particular place totally Islamic, and
Wipe out the other religion.
why the other religion bows down to them. This has been something that has been has been on in so many countries. Now, the truth about it is that Trump opening up to say Christian genocide must stop is a welcome development. It mustn't really be something that people should raise an eyebrow over, that America wants to come and because China is there. No, that's not true. That's not true. It takes a man of courage to stand up to say it.
Exactly.
These are what our so-called colonial master could not stand up to say because they are biased themselves. The British, if you call the British that they are part of people supplying, I might agree because they are biased. I remember during Jonathan, they were part of people who scuttled Jonathan's regime. Yes, this is where a secretary of UK will come and fly straight to the north to go and see one person or another without the consent of the president. So there is a lot of discrepancy. So if Trump stands up to say that he's going to have a war against Nigeria, he doesn't mean he's coming to fight Nigerians. No. He's coming to take them down. He knows they knows where these people are. The problem is we have dirty politicians, and I keep saying it. Since Jonathan's regime, the sponsors of people who are sponsoring all this terrorism in Nigeria, insecurity in Nigeria, is on top of the presidency table. So why do they come out every now and then and act as if they don't know the truth?
You know this thing you just said now about acting as though they don't know the truth. We've been hearing a lot of numbers saying that there are 50,000 Christians that have died from 2010 till now. And even for this year alone in 2025, we've seen 7,000 Christians being massacred. Now this data, is it that the Nigerian government are not privy to it? Is it that they don't know about this data? Or is it something that the international organization, if you remember, Amnesty International came and they were conducting a survey, a research on the insecurity in the southeast. Now they spoke to the governments to give them collaborations on the data that they have. Nobody answered them. They tried to reach out to the appropriate authorities and nobody answered them. Now they have gone now to give this data they have accumulated to the United States, to foreign bodies. They are presenting it to us, but the Nigerian government stance remains that there is no Christian massacre.
Let me tell you, Sharon, one, let it be said, if they say there's a Christian massacre, there is. If they say there is a Muslim massacre, there is. And that is the truth about it. Now, it is not about the massacre that matters. What matters is, how do we stop this massacre? Because there are killings going on daily basis. The other day we saw thousands of terrorists, bandits, coming to have negotiation with their arms with the governor of a state. Now, which means somebody brought these people into the country. Now, why is that person still working freely? So the problem is not what Trump says. And now people are standing up to say this or that. The truth about it is that it is high time our insecurity is being resolved.
All right.
That is the truth.
Definitely, but there might be interior motive.
No, the interior motive is this.
Nigerian government.
There's a particular man who was fingered. There's a particular man, an Islamic scholar, who goes into the forest to discuss with these people.
No,
so what it means is that somebody knows these people. Somebody started this insecurity. Somebody introduced this massacre. And they know the government would not close their eyes because we have NIA, we have DSS, we have so many arms of government who goes to fetch information.
All right, so
and this is on top of their table.
What I'm trying to say now is that you just said now that there is negotiation, and truly we have even seen videos whereby you see these people and they have the support or the protection of the army to protect them, and we've seen negotiations. Now there is something very particular that the Kaduna State government came out to say, or governor came out to say, saying that they know exactly where these terrorists are, where these bandits are. But the thing here now, the thing they are facing as the Kaduna State government is that they don't have the authority to give out an order to the military and it will be adhered to, because like he said, they take their directions from the federal government, they take it from the president as the chief security officer of the nation. Now I'm coming to you, since that we know these things, we're saying we understand now that the Nigerian state or the Nigerian government understands the terrains of these bandits and these terrorists, these jihadists, and they have not acted as much as they should. After Donald Trump came out to give this particular statement, we saw the unrest in the Nigerian government. We could see them saying, okay, there was a meeting that they wanted to have with the United States, and they fast-tracked that meeting, right? Now the meeting is going to hold on Tuesday, and after that meeting, now we came out to see news where they have apprehended some people and locked up some people just hours after Donald Trump came out to give out that particular statement. Do you think now that the Nigerian government had to wait up until international body or international nations like the US to be able to maybe just give them that encouragement that they need to care about their nation?
You know, I think we need to establish the fact that this present government is reactive rather than being proactive. Now, should I talk about the protests that go on? When they come out, they bring out the pardon. Let me even talk about the pardon. The president, there was no vetting in the pardon, and because of the fact that there was no vetting, there were a lot of people that he pardoned that were high-hardened criminals. You understand? So it was because of the fact that the citizens of Nigeria started reacting to that he had to revisit that pardon. So you see, it's a government that always reacts rather than preventing some certain things from happening in the first place. So because of the fact that they are not able to curb insecurity in Nigeria or stop this massive genocide attack, the US has now, pulled in their weight into the entire thing. And we all know that if US should come into Nigeria, apart from the fact that maybe there is possibility of them erasing this massive genocide, we are going to see massive displacement of people, and we're going to see, it is going to be somehow chaotic in a way, and the government knows the danger is going to pose, so they are reacting.
Or about the sanctioning.
No, apart from that, I'm telling you, I'm just trying to make you aware that apart from this thing, there are a lot of things it could pose. Okay. So that's why they are reacting instead of, yes, exactly.
Now, 2 questions before we wrap up. Let's take a look at the church in Nigeria and how they have reacted so far. Now, from a body that shares Bible in honor of the son of the president, that is Khan, not being able to come out and outrightly call this a genocide. Remember, they had a closed-door meeting with the presidency, and when the presidency came out, they said in their speech that Khan body, or the Khan president, said the so-called killings of Christians, in quote. Now, PFN as well is silent in all of this matter. What should be the response or the station or the stance of the church in Nigeria with all of this? Let me start with you, Mr. Daniel, in 1 minute before I come to Ifoma.
Well, the CAD has come out, which is the highest body in the Christian organization, has come out to say there is this alarm of Christian. They were the ones that raised the alarm, the Christian genocide. So definitely...
No, they were not the ones that raised the alarm.
They were part of the people that they supported what the man of God said. Raised the alarm and they supported, and it is Khan. And it has been said, it is not about the church now, irrespective that the church is involved. It's about the government.
Yes, I'm just asking about their response.
It's about the government coming to a roundup. This boils down to what I said here some months back. And I said, there should be a round table.
I'm going to come to recommendations.
I'm coming,
just
please.
asking.
Hold on. You asked me, I should be allowed to answer my question.
Mr. Daniel, let me just make something clear, right? I have two questions for you. One is recommendation. One is your stance on the Christian church in Nigeria. I need to move to Ifoma because of time.
I am talking about... Can I come in, Sharon, please? You asked the question, you allowed your guests to answer their questions.
No, I need to explain to the guests, right?
Okay, answer.
All right, if I can get your take on the stance of the church, that's the CAN and the PFN, what do you think should be their response in situations like this?
Okay, I remember when that leader, is he in Katsina State, raised this genocide attack. He was Plateau State, and he was calling on the president of United States of America, and I didn't see CAN coming out to support the attack on the Christians. I remember that, is it the vice president or so went to meet a particular church to inquire if there is what's it called, genocide attack on the Christians. And in my mind, I'm like, are we supposed to be deliberating on whether there is attack or not? You are seeing it in the news. If you want to get correct or information, go to that place that they are telling you. See a lot of people that they are murdering. What are you supposed to be doing is to find a way to stop it immediately. That is what is supposed to be the plan. So CAN here, I didn't see them playing any role, and I hope that with this summon, or with the fact that the US is saying, has sent message that if it doesn't stop, that he is going to send his troops to Nigeria, that at least they can throw in their own quota into the basin. And then again, as per the recommendation, I think it is a time, it's more like a wake-up call for the entire country, particularly both the Christians and the government. I think the government should tighten up security. If there is any irregularities inside the security terrain, they should try as much as possible to erase it, you understand? And then as for CAN, I think is a moment whereby we need to unite. Whether you are an Islamist, or you're a Muslim, or whatever you are, it is a time for us to unite together, because at the end of the day, we are one Nigeria.
At the end of the day, we're one Nigeria. Continuing from the recommendation, Mr. Dan, is there anything you want to add to what Ifoma has said?
I've already said bye.
All right, thank you. Now to you, our viewers, and our Nigerians who are watching, even in diaspora and in Nigeria as well, this is the time to pay close attention to what is going on in Nigeria. Stay close to your news houses and where you get your news from, because this is where you call it the turning point, where things can either go bad or good for the nation of Nigeria. Even as we sit back and wait for the outcome of the meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Vice President of the United States on Tuesday, and see what happens and just what they are able to conclude from that very meeting. Thank you once again, Ifoma Oji, Mr. Daniel Sacramento, for joining me today in the studio. As always, wonderful conversation. And to our viewers, I say thank you for riding with us. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please endeavor to do that media so you're up to date with everything that is going on in the nation. And if you're also yet to follow us across all social media platforms, please do that. Find us at Active Citizens. You can also find me on my personal Instagram and Facebook at Sharon Enemchukwu. And
you can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Misolex.
And for Mr. Daniel,
always in the studio.
So we'll come your way again later today. Do have a good morning.